Hello, everyone, and welcome to another informative episode of the Florida Business Forum podcast. Let's open the Florida Business Forum floodgates and let the information begin to flow. Here's your Florida Business Forum information guru and anchorman, Sam Yates. Hello, everyone. The information floodgates are open and the information is indeed flowing for yet another episode of the Florida Business Forum. Now, I have to say that the Florida Business Forum is filling a void that's been created by news media, not just in Florida, but everywhere. News media seems to be closing its doors and not accepting a lot of business news anymore. And being an entrepreneur, we have created the Florida Business Forum podcast. And that's a little bit of a background because I have a special guest today that's going to be talking business opportunities, business services for all of our listeners and viewers throughout the Sunshine State. I would like to give a big hearty round of applause and welcome John Mackle. John is CEO and co-founder of Worksite. Now, Worksite, I'll give you a little teaser. It is a licensed professional employer organization. And you're probably going, now, what does that mean? Well, John's going to explain that to us. So, John, welcome to the Florida Business Forum today.
Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate you having me on.
You know, I always start every program with getting a little background on my guest. It's that personal relationship that I like to know about my guest, and it also helps our audience know a little bit more about you. So tell us about yourself.
Sure. So I'm a sort of a third generation Floridian, grew up here. I'm sure some of your listeners may recognize the name Mackle. My family's built a lot of Florida back in the day in general development and Deltona, and very proud of that history. We grew up as in a family of builders, as we call it, but I was the black sheep and kind of went my own way. And instead of building real estate, I've built several companies in my career. So nowadays it's Worksite, which is a PEO for short.
You know, it's strange how life does its many twists and turns. My family also in the construction business, mostly land development and clearing, and I went into broadcasting and public relations and marketing. And tomorrow night, I'll be installed as one of the executive committee members for the Gold Coast Builders Association, Palm Beach and Broward counties, where for some strange twist of fate, I am now helping out the home building industry in Florida. So
I'm familiar with that association. They do great work. And let me say, while I have a chance here, Sam, I'm a big fan of it. I really enjoy your program. There's not a lot of ways to get in touch with the small and medium-sized business community in Florida, and I just love hearing from the business owners on your podcast. And I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't say, well, as soon as you start hiring employees, you know who to call.
Absolutely. And, there's always method to my madness. So when I interview people and get to know businesses, the light is always on in the background going, don't forget John. Yeah, so, absolutely, I will, and do referrals as well. But you do come from a long line of developers. You mentioned General Development Corporation in my backyard here. My parents, natives to the area, but they too invested in property in general development domain area, and still have some property holdings there, although it's the city of Port St. Lucie now. So, with that background, you said you're the black sheep. What was the reason for starting Worksite? I believe 2013?
That's right. Well, I had started a number of companies before this, and every stop before this, one of the first things I did was hire a PEO. As you may know, as your guests have probably mentioned in the past many times, the government, the feds, and the state, and with good intention, have made employment of just in general far more complicated than it needs to be. So enter the PEO industry. What we do basically is take on all the headaches associated with having employees. So I was always a big fan of the service, and I wanted to get into the business. And in 2013, I met my current business partner, Justin Mays, and we've been off and running ever since.
when I started at Monarch, there was 2 people, and now we have about 40 full-time employees. Yeah, with Worksite, we've been with them pretty much since the beginning, so about 9 years. And while we were using another company at that point, and the difference with Worksite compared to the other competitor has been night and day, and we've been loyal all those 9 years to Worksite. You know, there's those things that keep you up at night. You know, those workers' comp issues that may come up, the unemployment, getting on those phone calls and doing the interviews and working through that, the employee assistance program. We were able to take advantage of that, and I would say literally save someone's life that they were thinking about making a bad decision. And we were able to call the employee assistance that day, and they got on the phone immediately with that employee and really walk them through that path. You know, one really cool feature that we started recently using that Worksite offers is the applicant tracking program. And literally we can upload our new jobs that we're looking to fill, and they are put on that system. We can then push those with a little additional fee to all the different sites. And what's really cool for me, as we update those with Worksite, they're updated on our website. So the open positions at Monarch are always up to date, and that's so important in today's hiring phase that we're in. So if you're thinking about, do I need a PEO or not? You have to just do it. And I'm telling you, when you go through your first unemployment call and you have to manage that, you will look for help. And now that we're at 40 employees, I don't know how we could do it without Worksite partnering with us through this journey.
How big is the Worksite footprint? What area do you serve? The entire state? Are you capable of being national? If we have, because we do have listeners throughout the nation and literally around the world.
Yeah, about 90% of our clients are in Florida, but we're licensed in 20 states. We have a lot of clients that have multiple states, and so we've expanded to maybe, I believe it's 22 states at this point. So we're probably in the top 10 size-wise for the state of Florida at this point.
Mm-hmm. If you had to,
no, please.
If you had to pick out what is the most popular thing that you offer to employers, what would it be?
Well, it's really a basket of services. You know, the buzzwords are payroll, HR, work comp, benefits, things like that. So, but those are all just components of employment. So if you're a small or medium-sized business owner, right, you have anywhere from 2 to 200 employees. You know how many headaches are involved in having those employees. You're like, you want to run your business, run your restaurant or your hotel or your construction company, and worry about who you hire and what they do while they're working for you, right? And that's it. And all the other paperwork and compliance, that's all just a distraction from what you do best. And that's what a PEO does. That's what Worksite does. We take over. You choose if you're the employer. You choose who you want to hire, and you tell us, and we take the paperwork. And we handle their unemployment, their workers' comp. If they get injured on the job, God forbid, we handle that. Everything associated with having that employee.
Since you have been in business, we had COVID. Did that impact what you do and how you do it?
It just put a lot more pressure on what we do. So my business partner and I, we've been business owners in other capacities prior to doing this. So we have a great deal of sympathy for the small, medium-sized business owner, and just the way that they're, an owner is just buffeted from all sides with new things that come down the pike. So we're always given we're kind of going outside the box of what a PEO normally does. So we give tax advice, and when the COVID hit, and when the benefits programs were rolled out, starting with the PPP loans, we took about 20 of our people that are normally just running payroll, and we cross-trained them on how to fill out those applications, and we went out to every one of our clients and helped them through that process. And in parallel, Justin and I went out to our major banking partners and did what we could to get our clients to the front of the line. If you remember how clogged that funnel was,
yep,
to apply for those PPP loans. So that's the kind of thing you normally would expect your CPA firm to do. We're not a CPA firm. I don't want to give the impression that we give CPA or legal advice in any way, but we guided our clients through that process, and then we helped them on the back end with the forgiveness. So really, we saw it as another headache that we could solve for our clients.
As you talk about different aspects of, I noticed that one of the things that you do is you help companies help their employees with different types of choices on healthcare coverage too. Rather unique.
That's right. That's right. So if a client wants to join Worksite, they have their own health insurance program, say with Blue Cross or what have you, and they like it, they can keep it. We'll administer it on their behalf, taking that headache off their plate. But if they're searching for health insurance, we can help them find that as well. We'll shop the open market and find them the best deal, or they can launch into our program, which is also very advantageous. And again, we handle it soup to nuts. We do the enrollments. We handle everything associated with that health program.
Now, when I was taking a look at your company and saw some of the video on the website, I think I saw something on a wall with a receptionist desk in the foreground, perhaps. But it said essentially, do what you do best. Let us do the rest. Work simplified. That sort of sums up a lot of information.
Yeah, that's right. And that's kind of the message we want to send to the business owners out there. Focus on your customers. And there have been studies done in our industry that show that small and medium-sized business owners that use a PEO are 50% less likely to fail. And it's just common logic. If you're focusing that much more of your energy on your customers, your restaurant patrons, your hotel patrons, your construction clients, then you're going to survive. You're going to do better. You're going to have less turnover. You're going to grow faster. All those things. So it's really let us do all the headaches and focus on your clients. That's what that motto is meant to convey.
Rest assured, as you're talking and I'm thinking, being on the board of directors for the Builders Association, I will make sure that they get your information, because what you're talking about is what I hear from our members every time we meet. We can't get employees. What a headache it is to do the payroll. There's so many different aspects of the home building industry in particular, and then for those others who are members, they're all talking about the same thing, needing a less stress-filled day, and you make that happen.
That's right. Reducing stress, but also making space in their day so that they can get back to that client, and they're not worrying about running payroll, and they're not counting hours. They're not dealing with an employee who wants an advance on their payroll or has an unemployment check. We tell our clients, like, once you sign up with us, if you get any kind of letter from the state of Florida or federal government, just hand it over to us. We handle it. If you hear that an employee has been injured on the job, don't just call us. Don't send them somewhere. We will jump on it, tell them right where to go and what to do, and handle that work comp claim from the beginning to end. So the clients can just focus just on their business.
My name is Andy Hernandez. We're in the senior housing space. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for RSR. We currently have 5 communities with plans to expanding to 15 communities in the state of Florida. We are in the senior housing space, and we have grown significantly in the past 3 years. We're up to 300 employees, I believe, and that's where our PEO comes handy when it comes to our compliance, keeping track of our employees' PTO, workers' comp, benefits. The difference between Worksite and various PEO companies that I've worked with is the attention to detail with Worksite, their communication level. They're very on top of everything that we need when it comes to our HR. What would I say? I think it's a no-brainer to go with Worksite. It's going to alleviate a lot of pressures that it puts on you as an organization, and it helps you being able to concentrate on other things for your business. As we all know, the labor market is very competitive. Worksite helps us being able to stand out in the market when it comes to employee benefits, our compliance when it comes to our HR, all the things that you need to thrive in this labor market. Worksite provides.
Now, I would be totally missing the boat if I didn't ask now, before we go too much further into the program, how can someone get in touch with you? I'm going to be referring you, and I know others will, but someone listening, watching, how can they get in touch with you?
The easiest way is to go to our website. Very easy to remember. It's loveworksite.com, and worksite is spelled WRKSITE. So loveworksite.com, and our phone number's there. But if you want to jot it down, it's 941-677-0110.
When you look ahead, as all businesses do, looking into 2024 and beyond, what do you see as challenges for your business and for those for whom you offer professional services? What are some of the big challenges that you see on the radar?
Well, things are not going to get simpler, right? So the regulations associated with having employees, and again, it's for good intention. It's to protect employees and to help business. It's just going to get more and more complicated, and we have a team of professionals. We didn't mention HR support, but that's one of the service categories as well. So if you've got a manager that needs a little training on how to do interviews properly without getting in trouble, or God forbid a termination without saying the wrong thing, we help with that. We will train your people, and those kind of laws change daily. And our people are certified, and they keep their certifications active. It's very difficult for a small business owner to stay up on all that stuff on a daily basis and do it themselves. So it's very easy to hire a PEO. There's no long-term contracts and there's no upfront payment, so it's really a kind of a pay-as-you-go scenario.
I want to come back to some of that training that you do, but as you mentioned, the structure of doing business for your clients, go into a little bit more detail. Is it expensive? Is it not expensive? Everything is relative, of course, but what do you say to the potential customer?
It's not expensive. What we charge is a very small percentage of the wages that you run, and that's advantageous to clients, especially in, say, the Southwest, where there's very pronounced seasons in business, right? So if you have a slow period of time, you're not paying us. But if you have a high period, you are. So it's the incentives are aligned directly. And again, there's no long-term contract. It's a service agreement, 30 days out. It's very simple. And luckily for small businesses, not so much for us, but luckily for our clients, it's a highly competitive industry. So, we're on par with ADP or Paychex, but we have a lot of really good service. We pride ourselves on service. So our rates are similar to the big boys, but you get a personalized service. As a client, you'll be assigned a particular person who will know your account. They'll know, they'll get to know the names of your kids. They'll be a true extension of your business, and they'll never let you down.
Is there an onboarding process for the client to get to know all of your services? How do they know? Looking at the website gives a wide variety, but how do they get down into the nitty gritty of everything that you offer? And because I could imagine some of them going, well, I started with getting a little HR advice or payroll, and then I needed something else.
Yeah, folks usually come to us needing payroll or workers' comp being their primary focus. But our onboarding team will take them through the entirety of the services that they get. A lot of clients will come to us for payroll and then be surprised that they get comp and benefits and HR support and just a whole basket of stuff that they didn't realize they were getting, and it's all baked in. It's all free.
What about the training? You talked a moment ago about HR, and you will help train certain people to deal with issues. And is that training done where, and how does that happen?
Well, as part of our service, we provide full unlimited HR support to whatever the client needs. If the client needs us to send our people out to sit with their folks and train them for days on end, we're happy to do that as well. When we say unlimited, we mean it. But if they want to give us a call and they've got a question, hey, Susie in accounting has got a question and I don't know how to answer it. What's the right answer? Our people will walk them through that and give them the training and put the right words in their mouth.
You're headquartered in Florida, but you have 20 plus states that you're operating in currently. Do you have personal contacts in each of the states, or is it funneled back through your Florida operations?
So the mothership is in Northport, Florida, where our 100 plus employees are located. But we have sales offices all over. One of them in Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, all the major centers. But if we need to leave the state as well, we're happy to do that. So we're very flexible.
Actually, I think I'm very familiar with your operation there in Northport.
The area is booming. If you ever run it up and down 75, we're on exit 179, just right off of it. Just stop in and see our people.
That said, as we know, things are happening in Florida. We seem to be attracting more and more wealthier people who may be retired, but they're getting into new businesses. Are you seeing similar by the way of people turning to you saying, "Hey, I've just started a new business. I need help in this"?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we see that a lot. Is a retired executive who now wants to start his own restaurant or a construction company or do something on the side, and he or she's got 2 or 3 employees, and they didn't realize what a headache that was. So we make their lives a lot easier.
What does the future hold for you? I know that you're growing and you're expanding. You have some idea of how large this company is going to be?
We don't have any targets. We just want to be the best PEO in America. We don't necessarily want to be the biggest. We just want to be the best. Two of my 3 sons work for the company, and Justin's daughter works for the company, and we want I just had my 2nd grandchild, so I want her to work for the company someday, and we just want to do things the right way for the long term.
Absolutely. John, we've covered a lot of territory. We've hit on many different topics, I think, but are there any things we really didn't touch on that we should spend a little bit more time talking about?
Just to reiterate the point that we're here for the small business guy. We added a whole arm, a sister company that does bookkeeping, tax prep, CFO consulting type work for our clients, because once a client trusts you with their payroll, they reach out for other things, and so we've got a very strongly growing group we call Worksite Financial Services as well. So that's really it's a family business, and we want our clients to feel like they're part of the family.
John, I feel like I'm part of your family already just by having a few minutes to chat with you. So I want to say, John Mackle, CEO, co-founder of Worksite. It has been my pleasure to have you here on the Florida Business Forum today. One additional question, and it's probably the most important question. Will you be able to come back for another episode in the future?
That would be my pleasure. This has been a lot of fun.
We're going to remain in contact, and as you're continuing to offer your services, we want to come back periodically and get the pulse of what's going on in the business community as well. And so it's been my pleasure to have you here on the program today.
Sounds good, Sam. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
And I am Sam Yates. Until our next episode, have a great day, everybody. The Florida Business Forum is dedicated to showcasing Florida businesses and CEOs of all sorts to promote their business or not-for-profit in the only business forum of its type in Florida. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, the Florida Business Forum is now accepting guest applications. Have a great day, everyone, and stay tuned for more business.